Welcome to the 16-ounce cinema podcast.
Hello and welcome to 16-ounce cinema, where we drink pints and talk pictures. I'm TJ.
My name.
I'm Mike. Hi.
And I am Admiral Angus for this episode.
Yes, this episode that Admiral Angus has mentioned is called Three Seamen. That is because we've picked our theme for this episode to be nautical in nature.
Well, wait, I want to be Captain Mike then. I didn't know you get to pick cool names. I'm Captain Mike.
I'm Commodore TJ, of course.
That's good.
So, without further ado, let's get to those pints. Mike, what have you got tonight?
Ooh. So tonight I have a Southern Tier Brewing Company New School India Pale Ale, which is delicious, and it's already gone. So
it's already gone.
It's really good.
Kind of defeated the purpose.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll rub the can on the mic there, but
I mean, you could drink more. Or did you only buy one?
No, I bought 15 different kinds, so I'll maybe go get one later. But I'm still good for now.
Okay, good. Angus, what do you got for us?
I've got Kona Brewing Company's Longboard Island Lager. I got it because there's people surfing on it, and I figured it would go good with today's theme.
It goes good with everything. I love Kona. I just had a Hanalei from them.
I bought it because it was on clearance.
Oh, even better. Cheap beer.
I was hoping the Commodore went with Bush this time or something. Throw us off.
Commodore has gone with Heavy Sails Loose Cannon Hop 3 IPA. It is opulently hopped 3 times in the brewing process, according to the label. I haven't actually sipped it yet because I don't know. It's giving you guys respect by listening to you like an asshole.
And we were supposed to
sure smells like
wait
hops.
till the podcast started to try these. I mean, not drink them beforehand.
Mike already beer bombed his. No, this is good. I'm going to enjoy.
Well, hang on. What does Angus think about his beer? He hasn't told us.
I thought we all popped them at once, but I just popped mine, so let's do it.
I was just glad that they were cheap.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh.
So we watched some movies.
Actually, my beer is great.
We did watch some movies. We didn't. We all just paused to chug. We just keep drinking.
I took a whiff. I smelled my can, so it was good.
I forgot we were doing a podcast. I was just like, I just want to drink now. Oh, I was going to mention too, this Heavy Sails Loose Cannon came in a variety pack. I had a little trouble picking which one I was going to drink during this podcast. I was between the Loose Cannon and the Double Cannon, which is a 10% ABV.
But he is a loose cannon.
It's true.
Yeah. I was just afraid that, I'd get a little too incoherent because I've only had 3 hours of sleep, and a 10% ABV would be a little insane. So anyway, let's get right into our movies with Michael going first.
It's Captain Mike to you, sir.
Captain Michael, excuse me. Michael's
so
the captain now.
His position.
That's right. All right, so I watched a movie called The Bounty. The Bounty is great because it came out on my birthday, and I think that's fantastic. And what The Bounty is
actual date and year.
It's just my year, which I'll take. I don't know about the dates, but the years.
You can't say it came out on your birthday because it came out that year.
I can. Nobody else would have called me on that except you, so I can.
You said your birthday. That implies the date.
It does not. It implies my birthday. Anyway, my birthday year movie is The Bounty.
You can say it came out on my birthday, and if it came out in 1933, it still came out on your birthday. But
no, I was born in 1984. I was not born in a different year.
You should have said
I know my birthday
year then, not birthday.
God damn it! You know what I fucking meant.
So, this movie is actually mostly just about cunts. Everyone in this movie is an absolute fucking cunt.
I thought it was
everyone.
Like literally cunts. Like it's
just a porno.
Gynecology on the high seas.
Even though this is a PG-rated movie, there are actual cunts later, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. So this movie is about it's Anthony Hopkins, and he plays a cunt captain named Lieutenant William Bly. and he becomes a ship captain, or he's been a ship captain for a while, and he really wants to make his name. Like he hasn't made a name for himself yet. So his big idea is that he's going to get some. Yeah,
Like,
he's going to get some
he
fruit.
wants to have his nickname catch. Like, I'm Captain Cunt, but nobody calls me Captain Cunt.
He doesn't have a cool nickname. Nobody has a cool nickname in this movie, but he's definitely like head cunt. So he's the biggest cunt, I think, of them all. So his whole idea is to get a bunch of fruit from Tahiti, and he wants to sail it to an African country that has less fruit. Nobody really says why. He just thinks this is a great idea.
Is this like a big scheme, or
no? So he like very beginning of the movie, he talks to Mel Gibson, and Mel Gibson plays a pretty boy, prima donna, rich cunt named Fletcher Christian. He has absolutely no worries in the world. In fact, when we meet Fletcher, he's actually taking bets to see if the guy in the gutter is like passed out. He's already passed out, and everyone's taking bets to see if he's dead. And so, and that's his game. Like he just loves doing. He's just really rich.
Corpses.
Huh? I guess like they're just kind of like him and his friends are just fucking with the corpse and kind of kicking it a little bit, and they're just taking bets. And so the Lieutenant William Bligh comes in and says, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He's like, we're just taking bets to see if this guy's dead." And then they have a little chuckle about it, and then the captain's like, "All right, let's go talk about what I want you for." And so Captain Bligh, they seem to be friends, like they seem to know each other pretty well. So Captain Bligh is like, "Hey, I want to make a name for myself. I'm going to take all these Tahitian fruits. I want to sail it to Africa." And
Grape
then
smugglers.
Yeah, huh?
Grape smugglers.
That was some kind of palm fruit or something like that. And so he tells us to Fletcher, and Fletcher's like, "This is how you're going to make your big name." And then Captain Bligh, Anthony Hopkins, gives him this like really like sneering look, like, fuck you. Yes, this is my idea. It's going to be great. And then he's about to convince him to go with him. He wants Fletcher to be his first mate. And then Fletcher's like, yeah, I want this. This is great. Let's go. And then he's just like, yeah, all right, cool. And that's pretty much like the beginning 20 minutes of the movie right there. All right, and there's a few other notable cunts in this movie, and the first that I call him cunt number one is Liam Neeson. He plays a huge tall cunt. He's the biggest man in this movie, and he's got a huge fucking nose. And we meet him first like on the docks, huh?
Is it prosthetic?
No, he's just got a huge fucking nose for some reason. Like I guess he hasn't grown into his face because he's only like 40
or however old he is.
Yeah, he's like 25 in the movie, or like very, very early 30s. But I think he's in his late 20s during this film. And we just kind of see him standing around grunting and just being huge, and you just kind of know he's a cunt because the camera's always on him just a little bit too long. But when we first meet him, like they're below decks, so they're already on the ship, and then he's just kind of walking around when everybody's eating, and he gets into this one guy's face, and he's like, "Get out of this chair! I'm gonna eat here." And the guy's like, "Man, I'm fucking eating here, no!" And then he just beats the shit out of him. He just beats the shit out of him, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, I beat the shit out of this guy." And then while he's beating the shit out of this guy, like he starts talking shit to another guy, and then the other guy pulls a knife on him, and so he stops beating the shit out of this guy, and then beats the shit out of this other guy.
He asks where his daughter
and this is
is.
like a straight. This is like 10 minutes of the movie where Liam Neeson is just beating the shit out of two people. And everyone seems super happy. Everyone is pleased with this. Everyone's just like incredibly like, yeah, this guy's all right. And then they pretty much go about their business after he beats the shit out of him and takes his spot back. And then the fourth cunt is actually Daniel Day-Lewis. And he's like what you would imagine a sailor cunt to be. He's like super rich, and he's the I thought he was the first mate, but he's actually the guy who's in charge of the crew. And he is just really smug, and he likes punishing the crew, and he likes making them dance for him and stuff like that. And
do you think Daniel Day-Lewis did this like actually to the crew of the movie, since he's so method?
I think so, because everybody gave him like these weird looks that are like almost not part of the movie. Like they sincerely didn't like this guy.
Like he lived on a houseboat and just treated everyone horribly.
Yeah. Like he was definitely like the aristocracy, whatever those are called, the rich people of the crew. Yeah, even more like
I thought you
everyone
were gonna
liked
say
Mel Gibson's
Edward
character.
Strauss at first.
Yeah, everyone liked Fletcher. Everyone was like, yeah, this guy's rich, but he's one of us.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's pretty much the movie's about these four cunts in some way. And there's also like a really drunk fat doctor. He's kind of a cunt, but he's so drunk all the time it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter a little bit because he got drunk and like a sailor died, but like it didn't really matter.
It seems like a thing would happen if you're
Just,
a drunk doctor.
A drunk doctor on the sea. So, all right. So yada yada yada. There's like a few. You're out in the sea. These things are happening. They're sailing to Tahiti. They're trying to sail this port and stuff like that. And there's a couple scenes where like Daniel Day-Lewis's character, whose name escapes me, is like nobody likes him, but like they don't really show why. There's no really reason why he likes him. Why nobody likes this guy?
Just beats the shit out of them day and night.
But no, it was one scene where he's like, "Who said that?" And then like the guy's like, "Oh, I said this." And then he whipped two of them. And like
he actually that night before went to that actor or extra, whoever the hell it was, and just beat them senseless with a sock full of nickels.
It was actually Liam Neeson, so that would be really weird if he beat the shit out of Liam Neeson in real life.
Have they been in movies together since?
That's a good point. They have, but Daniel Day-Lewis has been in like 8 movies. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not a fair thing. So anyway, like, and now we're like 45 minutes into the movie, and like all of a sudden, Daniel Day's character gets demoted, and Fletcher is put in charge of the crew. And I don't know, like, I thought Fletcher was above him, but I guess not. I guess he wasn't above him. And like, I don't know. I guess they don't have a first mate anymore. But Fletcher, Mel Gibson's character, is now like the head of the crew, which nobody seems to like, even though they hated Daniel Day-Lewis's character. But they all start rumbling like, "Oh, this isn't how it's done." It's like they hated Daniel Day-Lewis's character, but they knew that it was part of the bargain that this guy is just a cunt and he's going to be our boss, and that's just the way it is. And like, and Captain Bligh,
they're dumb cunts.
Yeah, they're dumb cunts. They're nobodies.
We have no hope of a female audience after this episode.
Oh,
Just so you guys know, they're out.
I don't think women listen to very many movie podcasts, but I don't know.
Not this one, that's for sure.
But like they're cunts. And what else do you want to call them? They're not assholes. They're just smarmy bad people. They're like if you took a cunt and just put it in the ocean on the sea, and it was just anyway bad.
Ew, salty cunt.
Salty cunts, yes. Okay. So anyway, this is basically the first hour of the show, the movie, and what happens though? It's like it's almost Tarantino-esque. Because really, this is flashback scenes. Boring as shit. It was all right, but it's Tarantino-esque because it begins with Captain Bligh actually just talking to 6 or 7 judges, like he's being grilled about the mutiny that's going to happen in the movie. So you already know what's happening, and you're really just seeing the story play out, and through what's going on through his like fruit gathering mission or whatever the hell he's supposed to do. But basically, like what when you're going to the flash forward or however you set it up, it's the 6 or
framing.
7.
You can call it a framing sequence.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do.
Like
You can call it that. I'll never remember that. But the best part of that part is it's the 6 or 7 judges. They just give Bligh. They just call him a cunt whenever he tries to explain what happened. They're like, nah. This is your fault. And like, nah. This is all on you. Why did this happen? And then he's just like, I'm trying to tell you. And they're like, no. And he's
singing that really upset. Song.
And it's making Bligh seem like really like
song is what you sound like. No.
All right. So this is basically the best part of the movie here. They arrive in Tahiti, and there's a whole shitload of tits, and they're amazing. There's just tits everywhere in this movie. These are just beautiful Tahitian women, and they row boats, and they dance, and they sing, and they like to have sex with white men, and they have tits everywhere, and they're just
You don't think you
glorious.
should have saved this for the part where we sell each other on the movie?
Hang on, I will. I am saving a part from this.
Oh, okay.
That, actually, so that's
I think Mike just fell asleep and had a fantasy.
Good. Well, they're not black; they're Tahitian, so it's.
I don't know the difference.
Also, and at this part of the film, like they meet the Tahitian king, and they're all happy. And the Tahitian kings think that all captains are kind of quasi immortal, So like they have a lot of respect for these white men and the captains and stuff. And also
be.
Hopkins, the way it should be. And then Hopkins is Captain Bligh character won't fuck the wife of the king, and I think it's because she's fat. Like she's pretty chubby, especially compared to all the other women.
What's
and
he just attractive back then?
Yeah, he just won't fuck her. But nothing comes of it. It's just a scene where he doesn't want to be married and fuck.
So that sounds like a useless scene. No fat chicks. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, okay, and then so by then, like I haven't mentioned this yet, but Daniel Day-Lewis is very beautiful in this film. Like he looks better than all the women and all the men, and he's just clean shaven and handsome. Like,
do we see his tits?
Yeah, oh yeah, they all take off their tops and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And at this point, like, so Fletcher Christian's going native. Like he's full on like in love with the princess of the king, or so I guess his daughter. And he's getting a whole bunch of weird tattoos all over his body. Like, and so they just, and like it flashes forward like 3 months. They've been on this goddamn island for 3 months for some reason they never explain. And yeah,
they gotta find the fruit, right? Maybe they had to wait for the fruit to ripen or whatever.
Actually, well, I was going to get to that later, but yeah, like there's a one throwaway line where like one of the people are like, "We got to wait for the fruit," but that came later just randomly. But yeah.
So he doesn't even know his business well enough to know when to sail to Tahiti to actually be able to collect the fruit and not just hang out there waiting for the fruit.
Dude, they hung out for so long. They're like, and then one of the scenes, he's like, "We've been here 13 weeks too long," and it's just like, yeah, well, you fucking leave. You're the captain.
That sounds like really bad planning.
It was not good planning. The whole movie is just Captain Bligh or Lieutenant Bligh, whatever, being a dumb cunt, and which makes the ending terrible. But like. He's just stupid. He doesn't know how to control his crew, and he doesn't like fun. Like he doesn't like the tits, and he doesn't like anyone having fun. And he's a bad captain anyway. Okay. So
like a good character at least for. Like,
yeah, he's a great character. He's a great bad character that somehow finds redemption, even though I don't see it.
I like that you said he doesn't like tits. He's a bad captain. Like that's a requirement to be. The two captain.
Really go hand in hand. I think it's a requirement.
Needs to like tits.
He does like discipline, which is kind of creepy, but
well, like he likes to discipline his men. Like
he does, yeah. They all kind of do. Him and the Daniel Day-Lewis character,
like some hands-on discipline.
So at this point, like they want to leave, and then Liam Neeson's character is like, "Nah, we're leaving. We're deserting." And we don't really know why. They just don't want to go back to. I guess they don't want to go back home or something. So they desert, and then they desert, whatever you call that. They
had too much fruit.
they get caught. They come back, and then they get whipped again. This time by Daniel Day-Lewis's character and like another guy who's part of the captain's crew part people. And they whip the shit out of him. Like he is fucking not. He's beyond like African whipped. Like he is just his back is like shredded, like just fucking shreds. Like it's just terrible. And they just keep whipping him. But the best part of this is as they whip him. All of the native chicks with their big old tits are using seashells on their heads, and they're seashelling their heads until they bleed for every time they're whipped. It doesn't make any sense.
So but they're just smashing rocks on their skulls.
No, they're grinding it like a fucking seesaw. They're just grinding it on their heads, crying for these whipped men. They didn't explain it at all. Like I don't know why this happened, but I guess they all fell in love with each other.
They all fell in love with each other.
Like they were there for like almost 5 months just fucking, and I guess these women didn't like seeing these men beat, I guess. And so they started fucking seesawing each other with seashells.
I just think of the Ninja Turtles when they call each other Shellhead.
All right, so they finally, he goes like, all right, we're leaving. Everyone's leaving. So they leave, as they do, as the captain says. And everything should be fine at this point, but you got to remember Captain Bligh is a fucking cunt, and he loses his goddamn mind at this point because he hates the fact that like everyone liked women and had booze and has tattoos all over their bodies now. And so he starts pointing all over. This is like the funniest scene in the movie. He starts pointing all over the deck and stuff like that. He's like, look at this. It's dirty. It's dirty. It's dirty. And every time he points, there's this really weird noise and it goes, pew, pew, pew. And so this really, and the score of this film is awesome. The music's amazing. It has really good sound effects. except this one part where he's losing his mind and pointing, and the sound's going pew pew.
They give him like a little Daffy Duck sound.
Fucking ridiculous. Yes, it's out of nowhere. And so there's like a 5 minutes. So anyway, that happens. He makes all the whole crew clean, and then the best acting of Mel Gibson's career is coming up, where him and Anthony Hopkins start yelling at each other, and it's for like 5 minutes. They're losing their temper, and it's really hot. So they are sweaty. It's like somebody threw a bathtub on their heads. They are just sweaty and intense. And then the best line in the movie comes out when Gibson's like, "Damn your blood to hell." He yells this 4 times and get in his face and just fucking goes crazy. And it's one of those perfect. Yeah, it's one of those perfect like Gibson kind of things.
That sounds like it might be almost as good as Harrison Ford in the. It was in The Patriot. And he says, "I will fucking destroy you. I will make it my mission in life."
Yeah, that's really good. And so, really, the movie should have ended here. Would have been great. But the movie keeps going about another 30 minutes.
How do you end that? That doesn't sound like an ending.
I know, but like watching it, it's just like the climax. Like if the captain wasn't a cunt, he could have been like, "Yeah, you're right. Let's all be good and go back to America or wherever the fuck they're from."
Everybody's because I'm a cunt. We're all cunts.
We're all cunts. We're done. Let's live. But anyway, so the rest of the movie is there's a mutiny, which I guess is actually the main focus on the movie, except it comes an hour and a half into it. They finally mutiny. They get the captain out of there. And the rest of the movie is like the captain and his little dinky boat with like 6 of his crew. They go all the way back to the UK, and it takes like 3 months. And like there's like 5 scenes, and every scene they're just like they're dirtier, and they have more and more hair, and they just have fucking spots all over their body, like they have fucking AIDS or something. And they just they're dying, and they get back to the UK, and everything's good.
Like in a rowboat?
Yeah, the rowboat, like a tiny. It has a little sail on it, but yeah, it's a little rowboat.
Okay.
And then Fletcher, who's now the captain, they just like they don't want to go back to the UK because they don't want to die, because I guess that's bad to mutiny. And so they try to go to the islands. They try to go back to Tahiti, but like the king's like, "You can't. No, fuck you. Get out of here." So they shoo him away. Except he takes his princess. And then they find an island and live happily ever after. The end. And that's the movie.
The Simpsons did this, and
the Simpsons did mutiny.
I don't want to do the joke of the Simpsons did it, but they did do this movie as a parody, and I'm glad I watched that instead.
But anyway, I like this movie a lot. It's really good acting. Everyone's a cunt. It's 4 really amazing characters.
We know your love of cunt, so
I love cunts. And I love these. I love all 4 of these actors. So it was really cool seeing them. So that's it. I'm done with my movie.
Well, now it's Admiral Angus. You're up with a movie, hopefully not full of cunts, so we can get away from that word for 5 minutes.
I think I have to throw it in at this point. Like, I have a little clicker here where I'm just clicking every cunt that comes across.
Really? No, this episode is just called 3C Cunts. That's it.
Yeah, we're going to have to change it.
Yeah, so the movie I picked, before I even get into what I picked, trying to find this movie was fucking hell. It was a movie that I watched as a kid, and I remember loving it. So I was like, all right, let me see where I can find this thing. I tried on Netflix, no luck. Tried on Hulu, no luck. Tried a certain page that you're not supposed to be on with a Fire Stick. Not there. So I have to go to Amazon, and they have it. And you can rent it for $2.99. I've never rented anything in my life. But how badly I wanted to watch this movie again and talk about it, just because I think it's so fucking ridiculous. As soon as I heard the theme of this, I had to buy it.
Is it?
Boat Trip.
No, that actually is on Netflix. that was almost a fucking choice before I was like, I can't believe
it's not my choice. I can't believe I'm just now thinking of Boat Trip.
That was my number 2. Like, if this one didn't work out.
Such a great movie. It's such a great premise. We could have lost a whole nother demographic if we had picked Boat Trip.
Oh yeah, definitely. So anyways, what I picked is Grumpy Old Men on the Ocean. 1997's Out to Sea, starring Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
Oh my God.
I didn't know this movie was made.
I actually constantly confuse the name Boat Trip with Out to Sea, but I've not seen Out to Sea. I've seen Boat Trip.
I watched this movie so much as a kid. I loved it. I don't know why. I guess because I was just such a huge fan
Walter
of
Matthau?
Grumpy Old Men.
You were like a big Walter Matthau fan, because I remember you would tell me how big you were into My Fellow Americans. You made me watch that with you.
Well, that was Jack Lemmon. Yeah, Jack Lemmon was in that one, not Walter Matthau.
Fuck me.
Yeah. It was him and I forget the other guy's name, but also Dan Aykroyd.
Garner.
That's it, James Garner, yeah, and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Which honestly, that's a great movie too. I'm gonna go watch that.
His theme is presidents. Okay, so
anyways, so the movie is about like a degenerate gambler, which is Walter Matthau. I'm not gonna refer to these guys as their character names. They're just Walter Matthau.
That's fine. I don't remember their character names anyway.
Lemmon. Oh, funny story. As a kid, I thought Jack Lemmon was the guy from the Beatles. And I was like, man, he's really fucking talented. He does movies. He's funny. He made the Beatles.
He survived getting shot in the head.
No fucking clue. I just thought he was a god among men. That's probably why I followed his movie career so well.
Yeah, it's just like, this guy, I have to.
So anyways, Walter Matthau, he's basically a degenerate gambler. And it starts out with him at a track, and he's losing big time because he sucks at it. He ends up like conning people. He's a big con man. Like, that's his shtick.
So he cons people for the money to go gamble?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And then he won't pay them back even if he wins or loses. He's a real cunt, really, when it comes down to it.
All right. Put that in real quick.
I don't know why I had that word like at the top of my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyways, his brother-in-law is Jack Lemmon, who is a widower. So Walter Matthau's sister's dead.
Right.
And what he wants to do is like try to get his brother-in-law, Jack Lemmon, back into like the dating world, because he knows he's miserable. He just sits there at home, has meals by himself, looking at a photo, just sad as shit.
He just sits there looking at a photo? That's a scene in this movie?
Yeah, he keeps looking at this fucking photo of her. And
oh my God.
It'll come back, trust me. So he wants to get him out to go meet some women, or as Walter Matthau refers to them, as broads.
Oh, yeah, which is, of course, they're broads.
Awesome that a 90-year-old man is wanting to go bang some broads.
If it was me, I'd just call them cunts, but
yeah, we know that, Mike. Thank you.
PG-13 movie, I guess.
I'm glad
that was
you
the unrated
broke
cut.
3-minute silence for that.
So, anyways, his way of doing this is he tells him he won, like, basically an all-expensive paid luxury cruise, right? So he agrees to go on it, and when they get there, Jack Lemmon realizes, like, it's not really the cruise that he hoped for. What happened was Walter Matthau snuck his cruise. He snuck his way onto the cruise by saying that they're dance instructors.
Oh my God, that is so 90s.
They're 90-year-old dance instructors on a cruise.
That's awesome.
And this is their way of meeting broads, right?
Right, yeah, of course. Yeah, broads like to dance.
Yeah, I'm Jack Lemmon, yeah.
Yeah.
Call him Dane, Walter. More respectful.
They go on to the cruise, and then when Jack finds out, he's pissed off and he tries to run out, but then he meets this woman he likes, right? She's there with her. She's a lonely woman. She's there with her daughter and her husband, who are on the cruise for their what's that called? Not the honeymoon, but anniversary.
Anniversary, yes.
Yeah, I'm
birthday?
No,
yeah,
the birth year, yes.
Okay.
They were all born that year.
It's a good year to be born.
We're celebrating 1968.
So he runs into this girl and he's like, oh shit, and he kind of likes.
Hey, hang on, he likes the daughter or the wife?
The wife.
Oh.
No. The older woman, not the young one. He likes.
Why can't it be both?
Yeah.
Well, it's just who he liked was that one.
Oh, okay, fine.
All right.
He's ageist.
Well, you'll get to hear about Walter's chick pretty soon. So hold on.
Okay.
He's robbing the cradle.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's really in posh right now. So okay.
Yes. Topical. This movie's very topical, Admiral Angus.
A lot of thought went into it.
I see that.
So he decides to stay, and they're going to do their first class, and their boss is a real asshole. Like everybody's been telling him. He's like, oh, this guy who's who's in charge of the dance instructions, he's a real asshole. You got to watch it. Turns out,
now the boss doesn't check like his like staff manifest.
Well, he finds out
I don't
after.
have I-9s for you guys. Like,
no, they just kind of snuck on. So like he's learning about them then, but as soon as he sees them, he knows there's something fucking shady about him.
He's a terrible administrator. If he
wait till you hear who it is.
Way that they're not on his payroll.
It's a very.
Anyway, I'm getting ahead. Fine.
This boss is a very gay Data from Star Trek Next Generation.
So it's Brent Spiner or like some gay guy acting like.
No, it's him. It's Data acting like a gay man.
Oh my god!
So. And he's a.
Guess we know who won this movie's week,
right? I'm in.
He's not only a gay man; he's really cunty. So to bring it all around. So.
And I was worried about losing that demographic with Boat Trip. But no, it's here. No, we lost them anyway. Not to fear.
Yeah, I mean. We know that they're kind of cunty. So, anyways, Walter Matthau, he like plays like, I'm hurt, I can't do it and shit. And this guy he's like, I know you're up to something, I don't like you. So Walter Matthau's whole thing is he wants to get on the boat to bet, like, cause there's gambling on the boat. So he heads over there while Jack Lemmon is trying to dance with people and making a total ass of himself, and one of the people that comes on to him is Costanza's mother.
Oh my god.
And she starts falling in love with him, and then while she's dancing, the metal pins holding her legs together start falling out.
These guys are pimps, man. Jesus.
Yeah, no, like they
taking the legs off.
They can bang any old poon on this boat, I'm telling you. They're great.
That was the working title for the film.
So
Mike's Googling this right now. I gotta find it.
No,
he's watching the trailer as I speak. So anyways, yeah, like so Walter Matthau makes his way to the gambling section, and he runs into this really hot chick, right? And he's trying to show off in front of her. And like she's a young girl, right? Like not girl, but she's a young woman. And
I'm gonna picture a 13-year-old. I don't care.
Wow, I was actually a 14, so that's on you there.
That's too old.
I knew a guy who actually accidentally.
Where are we going with this, DJ?
Yeah, statute of limitations. Hold on.
Well, I'm not going to name him, give his social security number, but I could.
So, anyways, he meets this young chick who's pretty hot and everything. So, she's rich. So he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta impress her." So he starts like cheating at gambling, and then there's this guy on the boat who's like kind of a dick, and he knows what he's doing. Turns out later that guy was cheating and Walter Matthau caught him on it. And he ends up banging the young chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know where he bangs the young chick?
Oh boy. I want to take a guess.
Yeah.
Jack Lemmon's bed while Jack Lemmon is sleeping in it.
Ooh.
No, but good guess.
I was just going to stay the back of the stairwell because I'm boring, I guess. I like TJ's answer more.
No, it's even better. He bangs her on Gay Dada's bed.
I forgot about Gay Dada. God damn it.
And he
of
left.
Of course it's Gay Dada's bed.
Why are we calling him Dada? His name is Data. Stop it. You're driving me batty.
It's just, they said it wrong for a few seasons. It's fine. It's Dada. Dada. I don't know.
Data batty.
Oh, and Gay Dada knew exactly what happened in his bed. He could smell it. He knows that smell. Trust me.
Ooh, that smell. Yeah.
So, anyways, somebody else falls for Walter Matthau. It's Rue McClanahan.
Oh,
I know who that is because Sarah had me watch an episode. TJ's Sarah wife there.
TJ's Sarah wife.
I didn't know how to introduce her to the podcast.
Sarah, who watches Golden Girls, and we had nothing to do one night because we were just feeling slow, so we all watched Golden Girls together.
It was a good episode. It was good. It was good.
It was about assisted suicide.
I'm left out of this conversation.
You've had this conversation?
No, I said I'm left out. I didn't watch it.
Guys. Sorry.
Well, our apologies. You should catch up on your Golden Girls.
I was going to say next week we review Golden Girls episodes.
That's a great theme.
No, that is a good theme.
We'll just add it to the end. Every podcast, we'll just do a 10-minute recap of this week's episode of Golden Girls.
I'm out.
Very special Golden Girls assisted suicide.
All right. So Rue McClanahan is liking Walter Matthau and is dancing, but while he's dancing, he's trying to hide himself from the hot chick, right? And at this point, I'm starting to look at the hot young girl, and I'm like, God damn, how much younger is she than him? Because she was looking good, right? So I IMDb it. Turns out she was fucking 60 at the recording of the movie.
The young girl?
The young girl, who was hot, was fucking 60.
I was looking through the cast list trying to figure out who's this hot chick. And I'm like, these are all.
Yeah, I saw the hot chick too, except she was old as fuck. So I'm like, well, that's not.
Yeah, I was like, they're all old boon.
So I realized while I'm watching the movie, she only looks good in comparison because she's the only one not born in the fucking 1800s. I was starting to fall for her, and I felt weird. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know this about myself. Anyway, so Jack Lemmon is trying to get with the other woman, but then she starts to fall for him because this whole boat trip is going to some island and
Tahiti.
Let's just say Tahiti because I don't fucking remember where it was. It was Tahiti. They were gonna get some. There was some fruit or some shit there. I don't know. Anthony Hopkins offered it to him. But there was an eclipse, and he promised the girl he was gonna watch the eclipse with her. The one that Jack Lemmon, he was gonna watch it with the lady, and then also Walter Matthau was trying to hide from the boat captain because he was pretending to be sick. Not the boat captain.
Sounds hilarious.
Gay Dada. So he puts on a big fake horse head and is marching around with it.
On his head?
Yeah. And
where else would you put a fake horse head?
I don't know. I don't know. He put it on.
Put it on his crotch?
Yeah.
Don't mind my horse dick.
Shit. So anyways, Jack Lemmon stands up his chick because he starts thinking about his old wife, the dead wife.
Dead poon. No.
And
is she played by anybody, or is she just in his
She
head?
was just a picture. Because even when he starts to remember, he only remembers the picture. So he he doesn't go, so she's all heartbroken and stuff, and she's like, I just got to get out of here. So she finds like a guy with a plane. No, they're on land now. They made it to watch the eclipse.
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
right.
In Tahiti.
Yeah, in Tahiti.
I'm still trying to find this 60-year-old hot teenager.
Hey, man, pay attention to Tahiti. Come on.
Hi.
So she's all bummed, and she's like, I gotta find the airport and get home. The airport's like this one dude with a shitty plane that has like half of a wing. And
that's dangerous.
Yeah, very.
Captain Ron.
And what happens is the other chick, the hot young chick, and her mother, the mother is played by the old woman from Screwed, the Norm Macdonald classic.
Oh, I like that. That is a classic.
Yeah. I should watch that now. Anyways, so
find a way to theme it in.
She's leaving too because she finds out like he's broke and everything. Walter Matthau doesn't have any money. And that was their whole scheme. Her and her mother were just trying to find like some rich dude to take advantage of.
Oh, boy.
Well, then Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau both realize like, oh, we love those girls. Like, we should go find them. So they steal a life raft. And the gay data is just like, what are you doing? You can't do that. And then they're like, we're just going to do it. And then they start going down. And then for some reason, he starts insulting his boss, who's Rue McClanahan. And he gets fired.
Oh, no.
So now he lost his job because of... Gay Data lost his job because of Walter Matthau just being an asshole.
Well, that doesn't seem right. That's not fair.
Well, he did kind of motherfuck her. Like, he was like, oh, she's an old hag and all this. And
oh, no.
So, anyways...
I feel bad for her.
They take the boat and they go down to stop the plane. They eventually do. And they get the women in the end.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, just like not Out to Sea.
Yes, this is Out to Sea.
Yeah, no, this 3 hours of sleep is really... I can't even remember which side of the data dispute I'm on. I think I put myself on the wrong fucking side.
You're on the wrong one, buddy.
Yeah, I fucked that up. That's embarrassing.
I've never watched Star Trek, so...
Yeah. Should be Dave.
That also is embarrassing.
I just assume he's gay on the show now, and he dances a lot.
Gay Data. I totally agree.
No, he has sex with a woman on the show.
Oh, he has a whole family too. That's probably why he was a bad father, because he's gay.
Wait, he has a whole family? Like he had
a whole family.
He has a brother.
And wait, no, sorry, I was thinking about another artificial intelligence, the Doctor from Voyager. Oopsie.
Oh well, no, that was like one episode.
Yeah,
he created like the fantasy family, and then like the crew came along. Someone on there was like,
he must have been a gay doctor too, just like Gay Data.
Real, so that you can actually love them. And so like they reprogram his family to all fucking hate him. And it's just like, why did you do that to him? And like his son gets involved in like a Klingon gang. And like,
what is that really what happened?
Yeah, his son comes home and like he's dressed like a Klingon, and he blasts Klingon music from his room. He's hanging out with these Klingons that want him to stab people, and the Doctor doesn't know how to get control of him.
I'm just imagining the Klingon gang has like tattoos on their weird head marks.
They're like 16-year-old Klingons trying to get this boy to stab people.
That's great.
Yeah, and like something's wrong with his daughter, and his wife never has time for him. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just one of the shittiest things they ever did to the Doctor.
So that was
my movie is over. End credits is everybody dancing, like
all right,
while the credits are rolling.
Now that we're done with the movie about those cunts and me not knowing how to pronounce data anymore because I'm sleepy. I'll move on to my movie, which was 2000's U571.
Yeah.
It's a pretty promising flick right off the bat. It's directed by Jonathan Mostow.
Dada.
He didn't direct anything Star Trek. He directed Terminator 3.
The best one.
You may also know him from the Bruce Willis classic Surrogates.
I love that movie. I really do.
I wish I had something to say about it, and I don't know.
I was going to say you're wrong, but no, you're not wrong. You can love it.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie that I loved.
Okay, so U571. It's about Matthew McConaughey, who looks insanely young. This is I know it's 17 years ago, but he looks so young as to be unrecognizable. I didn't even realize at first it was him until he started talking. So he plays this young naval officer he's trying to move up, but Bill Paxton is like his superior officer and comes in with no bullshit. He's like, no, you're not getting your own command. And then he gets his own command with Bill Paxton there as part of this like secret mission. So the whole plot of the movie is that they're on this submarine. The U.S. forces, in a fun twist. So apparently this kind of adventure, not specifically, but what they were going for was the Enigma machine for the German codes that they couldn't break. And they knew that the submarines had them. So they actually went out and captured them from the submarines when they could, except that the Americans didn't do it. The British did, but they decided.
Didn't they have any? Where were the Navajos? Didn't the Navajos do all this?
The Wind Talkers. Yes.
Yeah, them.
But not on submarines. They didn't do it on submarines.
Not in the movie?
Probably because of racism or something. They weren't on the submarines. But anyway, yeah, because of, I guess,
no horses,
Hollywood nationalism. Now they're not British. They're all Americans. Harvey Keitel's in there, by the way. He's just throw it out there. He's in this movie. This movie kind of just throws it out there like, hey, Harvey Keitel, and he doesn't do a whole lot, but he's there.
I'm just imagining skateboards by and they're like, hey, it's Harvey Keitel, and then he just goes away.
That actually, if you go to IMDb trivia, that he skateboarded past the building of the sets, and they said, hey, Harvey Keitel, what are you doing for the next 4 weeks? And he's like, I guess I'm in a submarine movie. They're like, I like your style, Harvey Keitel. So the idea is that they're going to go in this submarine they found word that there's a German submarine that's disabled in the middle of the ocean, and they can get to it before the Germans get to rescue their own sub. So the idea is they're going to get to the sub, get that code breaking machine, destroy that German sub so it sinks. And so the Germans just think that their, stranded sub finally failed and just sank. And then they got to get the hell out of there.
Smart thinking.
Right. So, and actually, there's this good, I think it's a really exciting premise, especially as they're building it up. You've got these, everybody coming together. Matthew McConaughey doesn't really know what's going on because he's told he's not going to be briefed until they're actually.
Wait, isn't Harrison Ford in this movie?
No, see, that was a movie I considered watching. That's K-19, The Widowmaker.
Oh, that's the good one.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking the whole time you're talking. I'm like, when's he going to talk about Han Solo?
Yeah. Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson, and it's directed by a real director, Catherine Bigelow.
Damn it! You watched the wrong movie on us.
You're telling me.
That explains everything right there.
So it's exciting in the beginning because you don't really know exactly what's going on. All these weird intelligence officers are showing up. This dude shows up and's like, you're gonna load my equipment first, and Matthew McConaughey's like, well, all right. Yeah, all right. He's like, bombs. It's just a bunch of fucking explosives. Because they don't know yet that they're going to the sub to blow it up. They don't know any of that. He's just loading up bombs on the sub that Matthew McConaughey is going to take out. So it's a really nice building of the suspense. Now, of course, they get to the German sub. Things don't go how they planned at all. People die, of course. And then the movie turns into basically Matthew McConaughey and what's left of his crew.
How are they dying?
Are through explosions and shootouts.
They're actually going off. Okay.
Fucking Navajos are pissed. They're not.
The Navajos just turned traitor, sell them out to the Germans, and then a joint task force raid them.
I mean, would you really call that traitorous at that point? And be like, yeah, I could see you going to Germany. You fucking raped all of your people. I get it. I can't believe they didn't fuck with us about the whole wind talking thing. They should have just fucked with us and just I can't.
Just
anyway,
lied about the codes they were breaking.
Yeah, they should have been like, "Oh, I thought that was the code." Oopsie.
I feel like I should know more about.
I don't have
history.
a very good Navajo accent.
Maybe we should start a history podcast to set you straight.
No, I have no idea what's going on.
No.
So
what's a Navajo?
Anyway, basically the rest of the movie is their journey to, because they do get the code breaking device. Their journey to get it home. And now I'll say, like, in the beginning, especially like when you don't know what's going on, but then you kind of get hints and clues. It is pretty exciting because you don't really know what's going on or what's going to happen. Obviously, it's going to end in the Hollywood bow. You know it's going to have a good ending, but like they keep having different setbacks and challenges they have to meet. And like Matthew McConaughey does like a good job of selling it as this guy who's just trying to figure it out. He has a couple like good scenes, which they build in. Like, this movie is really a case of like the first half is really, really good. And then the second half is just a boring turd. So in the first half, they start out like, Bill Paxton basically is told
killing Russians. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, he's not going to become captain. Later, when they're on the mission, he kind of gives them this speech like, a captain needs to be able to just send men to their deaths. He needs to know his crew and also know that he may one day just send them to die. And he's like, I can see in your eyes, you're not ready to send men to their deaths. So like, that's a good scene in the beginning. Then when everything kind of goes haywire, Harvey Keitel grabs him, takes him aside personally. And like, cause he has this point where everything's gone to shit and the guys are around like, what do we do? And he's like, I don't know. So Harvey Keitel pulls him aside and says, you don't say I don't know, you fucking idiot. You're the captain now.
Keitel's good at that. Nice.
Yeah. But unfortunately, though, that subplot of like McConaughey's character growing into captain ends there. It's like Harvey Keitel takes him aside and then magically he gets it. There's no more.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel is the fucking man. I would do whatever he tells me.
He's just like, he does it and he gets like everything goes like, I mean, he has his setbacks, but all of his like plans just work from there. And there's a nice thing too, where like after things go haywire, one of the intelligence guys is still alive and he kind of lays it out that like they have to either succeed or they have to kill themselves. Because the problem is that if they get captured by the Germans, someone might leak that they've, captured the Enigma machine, and then the Germans will change all their codes.
A leak on a submarine is bad.
They'll be worse off.
Honest to God, until you said that, I really thought this movie was set in present day time.
Present day?
Present day, yeah.
Oh, I guess it's just called U571. I guess why should you know anything unless you knew that? I guess they They called you said that. I'm like, oh,
it's funny.
Back in the day.
You were talking about it, and I was looking it up. I was like, let me just IMDb this real quick and look it up. And I put K-19 at first again, and I was like, wait, this ain't right. And
every time you say Matthew McConaughey, I picture Harrison Ford. So
yeah, and it's a forgettable movie too.
I'm looking at the cast, and there's somebody.
Actually, I wrote in my notes. 30 minutes left. Hurry up.
Hold on. There's somebody in the cast here that I'm looking at, and if you don't name this person,
don't you dare.
Okay. If you don't, I'm waiting for it.
One of you was going to do that. I knew that.
God damn it!
But
it wasn't me.
I didn't say it.
I have another piece.
I'm still excited.
Then I write 20 minutes left. End now. They go through this really long like sequence where, in the beginning, there's a sub and like it's getting hit by depth charges, and they're all just quietly waiting, and you hear the explosions off in the distance. That's really cool. At the end, they do it again for like 20 freaking minutes. It just goes on and on forever. So like at first you're like, ooh, we're like claustrophobic, we're trapped, we're doing this again, and it just never ever ends. And that's the movie. Great first half.
TJ's still watching the movie right now.
Yeah, I'm just still stuck there. Just still watching, and it never ends. So that's U571 for you fellas.
It actually sounds better than I thought it would be.
I didn't really know what to expect at all, because, it wasn't K-19 the Widowmaker. The movie I just basically kind of pulled out of my ass because I couldn't get K-19 as quickly as I could get this.
Did those movies come out around the same time, or?
K-19 was 2003.
And when was this one?
2000.
See, I thought it was like that Volcano, Dante's Peak type shit, Armageddon and Deep Impact, where they just came out at the same time, so you confuse them.
I mean, they're both like over a decade ago now, so almost there.
I guess. But those literally came out like months from each other. Well, that's awkward.
Well, since U-571 has now officially sank, we can move on to our game. Now, the game that we play consists of 2 segments. The first segment is Best Bullet Points, where we must each attempt to sell each other on our movies. Movies are good or bad, still we got to sell each other on them. Then the second segment will be the Horizon Shift, which is something truly special. The winner gets to pick the theme that we will watch and drink for the next episode. So, since Michael went first with The Bounty, Michael, give us the best bullet points for The Bounty.
Right. I have one main bullet point, but there's also like a little apostrophe thing for this one. So I'll go with the apostrophe first. There's a man in this movie whose real name is Wee Cookie Ka. And I just love his fucking name. And he's in the credits. He's in the opening credits. And I was excited to see who he was. And he's obviously the king of the Tahitians. And his name is Wee Cookie Ka. And I love it.
I know what I'm naming my firstborn.
His name?
Of course. But the best part of this and the selling point here, and I know I already talked a lot about the tits, but I just want to say one more time that for a PG rated movie, this movie had more fucking tits than every goddamn PG movie ever in cinema history. This movie had no less than 200 sets of individual tits. And they were all very nice.
That's
amazing tits.
I hope a 12-year-old is listening to this back in 1997, because that would mean something. We have the internet now, like you can find anything.
Right, but it's still like you don't expect it in a PG movie about a fucking bounty ship going for fucking fruit. If they instead threw all the fruit overboard and just came back with these women, they'd be way, way richer. Everyone would have been way happier in this movie.
You know that, like,
so
this movie must have hit the rental circuits hardcore in like 1985. All those like 12-year-olds like, hey, rent The Bounty. It's PG.
Nobody would have any idea because they came an hour into the movie and the whole first hour was just 30 dirty ass men.
I like the choice of words you use. They came.
The kids weed out their parents because the movie's so boring by the time mom and dad don't want to watch any more titties.
That's true. So anyway, great tits. Angus, what do you have that's better than tits?
All right, well, fuck, that's really rough to beat in this day and age when I've seen everybody's tits on the internet, but okay.
Fair point.
Going back to your thing where you had like the little bullet point, I actually have a really fun name from one of the cast members.
All right.
There was a background dancer, and his name was Bubba Dean Rambo. Which basically sounds like TJ's dog's full name, in my opinion.
And this person was a dancer?
Yes, he was a dancer. Bubba Dean Rambo trained his whole life to dance in a movie with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
That's his only credit?
My favorite part of his name is Dean. That's fantastic.
He mixes redneck with a handsome 50s guy with a badass 80s action star. Like,
Dean is just straight up MacGyver.
How's he not the leading man?
He should have
John Travolta edged him out on Saturday Night.
Yeah, I think that was actually John Travolta's pseudonym. I think that might have just been Johnny.
You think John Travolta's there as an extra and out to sea credited as Bubba Dean Rambo?
Yep.
I gotta watch the movie now to find out.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is a little bit smaller. There's a cameo by Predator. That's all I'll put out there.
Like the actual Predator?
Predator.
Well, like the actor outside of the suit, or like full suited Predator?
Fucking full suited Predator is in that movie.
What?
Yeah.
Like, does Jack Lemmon have flashbacks to like Korean War or whatever?
How do you think his wife died?
And the Predator is there.
Oh wow!
This is what he's thinking about. So
I can't tell if this was a comedy or a serious movie. Which I don't want to watch it. I just want to pretend. I don't know.
When I was a kid, this movie was hilarious. When I rewatched it, I was like, wow, that's some shit.
It's a coming of death movie.
It really hit me hard. I was like, God damn it, I'm getting older every day.
Do you really want to see the Predator?
Every breath could be your last.
Dude, imagine if like during the rowing titty scene on my film, the Predator just came out of the ocean. He's just like, "Rawr, I'm the Predator."
Yeah, his classic line, "Rawr, I'm the Predator."
Well, it'd be a different film. You know, you can't just be the Predator in every fucking film. You gotta.
I mean, Arnold said, "I'll be back" in every fucking film. Why can't the Predator say, "Rawr, I'm the Predator" in every film?
Come on, do it now. I'm the Predator.
I'm the Predator now.
So let's see TJ top these two.
No.
You know what? Fuck it. That is my final.
I'm fucking talking about U571. All I got is the guys gotta get on boats, go from one sub to like the German sub and invade it with the machine guns. And this is a really great scene because to get to the boat initially, when they're on their little life rafts or whatever, they've got to pretend that they're German, and like nobody speaks German except two guys. One guy like gets scared as shit to say anything, so the other guy who's not supposed to lead the mission starts yelling in German. Yeah. I'm the Predator. And then they jump on the sub and shoot the shit out of everybody. And it's really well directed action.
All right.
Yeah, I'll believe you.
Hang on. Angus led me to believe that there is a man in the credits that I am going to.
So, moving right along to our next segment, not looking at the credits to U571.
Oh, I forgot that there was a third segment.
We'll move on to
the Predator is still killing me.
I am the Predator.
I had to mute my mic there.
Oh, fuck, good idea.
You got it out of your system?
Yeah.
And now it's time.
I just want to say, if I didn't have the mute button, I would be just like him. But I muted myself out of respect for everyone else.
I was good until somebody came back and started laughing again, and then I broke.
Oh, that was me. All right, let's do what you said.
We
there,
caught our breath.
right,
and now it's time for the horizon shift.
Okay, I had my mic off again, but
we were stopping for music, Mike.
Oh shit!
I can mute all this. That's fine.
I muted mine, and then I heard someone talking. I'm like, do I unmute?
Okay, so for the horizon shift, this is our special segment. It's close to all of our hearts because we love the movie Event Horizon. So for the horizon shift, each of us will. Fuck! I lost my train of thought.
We're gonna compare our film to the greatest film ever made, Event Horizon. And we're going to show why it relates.
Yes, we connect our movies to Event Horizon. Michael,
greatest film ever made.
There's always
bring the bounty to hell.
All right, so the thing with the bounty is it literally just goes step by step with the movie Event Horizon.
Like you can play them together like the Dark Side of Oz?
Yeah, you can kind of play them together, and it's kind of like the same story, Like, I don't have anything more to add about the plot line, and there's not really many cunts in Event Horizon. But once you watch it, and then you think about Event Horizon, it's really like just playing the whole movie in the 1800s or 1700s, or whatever the hell that they fucking took fruit from Tahiti. I don't really know.
I feel like you're way off base.
And as TJ actually did say, and I'm going to get you the real quote here. I'm not going to, because I'm not good at quoting, so it's here in front of me somewhere. It's not in front of me. I don't know where it is. So let me keep. Okay, all right. So our big favorite quote from Event Horizon about hell is what, TJ or Angus? One of you can jump in.
Hell is just a word. The reality is much worse. Now let me show you.
Exactly. So Christians, which is Mel Gibson's big line in the movie, and it's really, honest to God, it's my favorite Mel Gibson quote
you
ever.
Blow me before jacuzzi.
And I'm not going to yell. I'm not close. Second favorite there. He says he's really sweaty, and he yells. It's during the yelling scene with Anthony Hopkins. He says to Anthony, "I am in hell. Hell, sir. Why are you being so damn reasonable now? God damn your blood to hell with mine, sir. God damn your blood." And that's just like, it takes you back to like when Dr. Weir's talking to Fishburne's character, like right at the very end there.
Memorable hell quotes. Okay.
Memorable hell quotes. Very memorable hell quotes. Yes. Angus?
Shit, man. This one was rough for me because my movie couldn't be more opposite from fucking Event Horizon. But
I am Event Horizon.
So, anyways, what I was able to figure out was they both came out in 1997, right?
Oh,
so film like a year of fantastic films.
A birth year.
Yeah, I was actually born sometime near there.
I had a birthday
you were not,
in 1997.
It's a little.
You were not born anywhere near his goddamn film.
10 years, whatever. Who's fucking counting?
It started in a 7. It started with a 19.
Yeah, like.
Well, mine was literally right on the year.
I was 3 numbers. On your birthday?
I'm
going to look up when this fucking film came out.
When it didn't happen on your birthday.
You're like a woman who celebrates her birthday for the entire, like, month. So I
don't have any comeback for that one.
She never grows older than 40.
So anyways, I was looking at the actual release dates, and Out to Sea came out July 2nd, 1997, while Event Horizon came out August 15th, 1997. And I did a little bit more research, and it turns out that 20th Century Fox didn't want to release Out to Sea around like the same weekend because it was originally slated for the same weekend as Event Horizon. So what they did was they moved the date up like a month so that movie would do better because everybody knew that Event Horizon was going to be the biggest movie of 1997 without a fucking doubt. Huh. So they moved it up. But yeah, so sad thing is Out to Sea made more money.
All right, Event Horizon. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to fact check this because it sounds awesome.
I don't care about facts. I only care about feelings, TJ.
Yeah, that felt great. I held back a little bit of the plot because part of my Horizon shift is the fact that it concerns one boat or ship going to another ship, and the crew ends up on this ship that they meet that's stranded out in nowhere, and their own ship that they came on is destroyed, which happens in Event Horizon. But more importantly, Jack Noseworthy, a.k.a. Baby Bear, is part of that crew.
Yay!
Yeah, you can't build it up after all the rest of the shit.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. That's not what I had in mind.
Whoa.
Dude, the person... When I looked it up, it said fucking John Bon Jovi was in the movie, and you never mentioned him once.
That's because I was looking for, I don't know what the hell he looks like or what he was doing in that movie.
I don't give a shit. You mentioned Bon Jovi.
was like, he's going to sing. What's he going to do?
I can't believe you didn't mention Bon Jovi.
How do you not mention Bon Jovi in goddamn submarine movie?
Wait. How come Baby Bear didn't catch your attention, Angus? What the hell is going on?
That far.
I saw Bon Jovi. I stopped looking.
I was too struck by Bon Jovi that I was like, all right, there's nobody else in this movie.
Nobody else. Bon Jovi should have been first billed. I don't care how much screen time he got.
They should have called the movie You Bon Jovi. It should have
been Harrison Ford, even though he was in the other movie.
Bon Jovi anyway. Credited as Harrison Ford.
Bon Jovi, the Widowmaker.
So now comes the moment of truth. We'll each cast our votes for which movie we believe was best sold and also had the best horizon shift.
Wait, can we vote for ourselves again or no?
We probably shouldn't.
Okay.
So, Michael, which movie do you think was sold the best?
I mean, I really like The Predator. So, I mean, maybe Angus lied about it, but I don't care enough to find out, and I want to pretend The Predator was in that film. So, it's clearly Angus.
Let's cut to the chase. Nobody's fucking watching U571, so clearly out to sea.
Oh yeah, it's me. Yeah, what do you think, TJ?
Because the Bounty's big selling point is Mel Gibson shouting "Damn your blood" at Anthony Hopkins in 1984 tits.
Damn your blood to hell with mine, sir. Yes.
I felt like you were actually saying that to me because I got your quote wrong.
It's a great quote, man.
Personally, Mister Captain Michael.
Captain Michael.
So as the winner, you get to pick your theme. Would you like to announce it now or save that for a later date?
I didn't even get to vote.
That's true. He could have voted for U571 Star Widowmaker.
Bon Jovi.
Maybe Angus really hates vacations.
Dude, the Bon Jovi thing almost sold me, but tits and cunts all the way, man.
Tits and cunts, baby.
Pick the wrong fucking movie.
Well, I would like to think about it and then announce my pick on our social media platform.
Wait, you didn't win
in the coming week.
What are you talking about? You didn't win.
Oh, I didn't win?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
I picked out to sea, you bastard.
What?
Yeah.
You picked the Predator.
I totally ignored. I 100% ignored the fact that you did that.
I just voted for you because I couldn't vote for myself.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't catch TJ's vote at all, whatsoever.
You're the captain now.
Just stop listening. I'm the captain. What the fuck do I care what others think? Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one that wins. Here's my theme. Fuck you.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, shit.
All right, well, Angus, I guess it's on you there, friend.
Did TJ actually vote, or?
I don't know. I thought he voted for me, but I was way off.
I voted for fucking Out to Sea.
I didn't know.
Play the tape.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes the Predator. I get it. It's the Predator.
Mike was so excited about his win. I was just like, well, shit, man. I guess he won fair and square. I didn't even want to fight it.
Angus was totally sold on the fact that I won. He's like, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, my vote counts triple to Mike, I guess.
But it was funny because I was literally thinking to myself, like, how the fuck did I lose this one? but I was being a good sport. I was like, all right, well, fuck, man, I'll give the man his due. You know? I mean, Anthony Hopkins is great. Like,
I will concede that I guess I was wrong on that there, and Angus is the clear winner without the sea.
So if we had any audience left by now, they're not coming back.
Oh, they love it. They can't wait for more cunts and predators and tits and shit. I bet the Golden Girls got them, so I bet they'll be back for the gold.
They're gonna wait around on that tease that'll never be followed through on.
So, Angus,
right,
what do we got?
Well, I guess I'll let Mike decide on social media what the next thing is, because He made that call. I had no say in it.
I mean, it's on you.
No, the media will find out. The media will find out soon enough.
On the social media will find out.
I've been tinkering with my.
I can make a Twitter.
All right, done. Glad that's taken care of.
Alrighty, so good episode, guys.
This was our.
Yeah, I hope so.
This was our maiden voyage into podcasting.
It was.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Oh, this was our first episode.
We should have said something at the beginning.
Life vest.
I was waiting for something.
We should have worn light. Oh my god! How do we not do that?
I have swim floaties on.
Jesus, that's fucked up. We should have. I would have. Yeah. I have Jimmy. I have my friend Jimmy's snake. I could have put it all around my body and like.
Yeah, but that's very nautical.
They're very nautical. The snakes.
Nautical by nature.
That's good.
Well, that concludes 3 seamen.
Our maiden voyage of
16-ounce cinema.
Oh yeah.